one and all. On behalf of philosophy family, I extend a hearty welcome to all the viewers presented in the Sunday webinar. Today we have with us the students, scholars and teachers of philosophy and other disciplines. And I can see the members of Chinmay Mission of different parts of our country. I welcome all of them and I bow down my head before all the learning participants to be with us in the Sunday webinar. Today we have welcome to learned speakers of our state. In the first session, we listen from Chandra Patnaik sir. He is a very motivational speaker, social activist, former general manager, books and publication, Central Chinmay Mission Trust. I welcome Chandra Patnaik sir. I also welcome our second speaker, Professor Pramod Kumar Das, the head, Department of Philosophy, Noyagoda Autonomous College, Noyagoda, Odisha. He is the admin and convener of philosophy family, and he is associated with different forums of philosophy. Today, both the speakers will speak on thinking, and in the first session, Patnaik sir will speak on the art of correct thinking, and in the second session, Professor Pramod Kumar Das will speak on dialectical thinking. Both are different aspects of philosophy, and art of correct thinking has logical aspect. The logic is said to be the art of correct thinking. And Professor Pramod Kumar Das will focus on the dialectical thinking, which is a form of analytical reasoning that pursues knowledge and truth with contradictory views and counter arguments. We'll learn so much from Patnaik sir and Professor Pramod Kumar Das. So before inviting Chandra Patnaik sir, let me speak a few words on his academic and his personality. Chandra Patnaik sir is popularly known as KC Patnaik sir. He was, as I have already told, he was a former general manager, books and publications, Central Chinmay Mission Trust, Mumbai, for 25 years. And after being inspired by Pujya Swami Chinmayananda in 1966, he served Chinmay Mission Raulkela as the secretary and founder trustee for 25 years. And there he proved his excellency and organizational capacity to run such a spiritual organization. And he is very instrumental in establishing Chinmay Vidyalaya in Raulkela. He has also shown his personality and organizational capacity to grow such a beautiful organization in Raulkela. Regarding his educational career, it's not possible to speak all the things. Patnaik sir obtained MBA degree from USA, and he has traveled USA, Canada, Germany, Sri Lanka, Nepal, and so many countries on mission activities. He did his scholarly speeches there while working in Central Chinmay Mission Trust. he addressed at management institutes and other educational institutes on different mission activities. His motivational speeches on personality development in day-to-day life, value education, career building, communication skills are really inspiring. He has inspired thousand number of students and scholars in different forums. Being a member of Shraddha Foundation and past president Rotary Club, he has been associated with a number of philanthropic activities. He is a major blood donor also, who has donated blood for more than 45 times. So today, it's not possible to reflect upon his personality as he has a long list that he has obtained during his lifetime. And we are very fortunate to have such a brilliant speaker, motivational speaker, such a social worker, and such a spiritual motivator who has devoted more than 50 years in different activities in different countries. Today, I bow down my head before him. I welcome Patnaik sir to our family and request him to commence his speech on the art of correct thinking. With this, once again, I welcome all the viewers, our moderator, Dr. K. Umanan Rao, and the second speaker, Professor Pramod Padas, and other members of our family. Thanks so much. Now, I request Patnaik sir to commence his speech on the art of correct thinking. Over to Patnaik sir.
Good evening, Namaskar, Hari Om, my dear friends. Thank you for the kind words. And I'm at the outset, I must express my thankfulness to your philosophy family and particularly Professor Das for giving me this opportunity to share some of my thoughts which are relevant and practical in day-to-day life. Let me make it very clear that I am not here to preach or teach, as I have highest regard to all of you who are intellectual thinkers and scholars. Man is the crown of all creations, as he has the faculty of discrimination what is right and what is wrong. And that is Swami Chinmayananda has told that greatest service a man can do to another man by embedding a good thought in his mind. So Sivananda has told, man sows a thought, reaps an action. Man sows an action, reaps a habit. Man sows a habit, reaps a behavior. Man sows a behavior, reaps a character. And man sows a character, reaps a destiny. In other words, what your thoughts before it becomes action, what your action before it becomes habit, what your habit before it becomes behavior, what your behavior becomes before it becomes a character, what your character before it becomes destiny. In that sense, man is sum of his thoughts. Gautam Buddha said, what we are now is the result of our thoughts. Thoughts shape and determine our life. If our thoughts are good, happiness follows like a shadow. If our thoughts are wicked, grief is sure to pursue us. Sorry. I will give you certain illustrations. Swami Chinmayananda was in Hyderabad to conduct his discourses and staying in a house of a district judge. And the district judge expressed his anguish that his son is becoming wayward and wasting his time, though he is a law graduate, and spending his time with his friends and not taking any responsibility and all that. And Swamiji told, why don't you bring him to my presence? It was difficult. Still, anyway, he tried and brought his son before Swamiji. And the boy was thinking that Swamiji will fire him. But instead of that, Swamiji told, oh, gentleman, you are so young, enthusiastic, and very robust, very cheerful. And this is the time for enjoying your life with your friends and make merry. So, so he was surprised. Then he told, but one thing, you enjoy the day whatever way you like with your friends, but in the early morning, you walk for about half an hour to a solitary place, totally alone. And then Swamiji left. And this boy, having got all the liberty of enjoying his, his own way, he followed and he was going. He thought over and was alone. What is his future? And what will happen after his father passes away? And about his friends also, he is following because he is spending money. So a thinking process, a changing taking place in his thinking process. Anyway, after 14, 15 years, Swami Chinmanda was again at Hyderabad for another Gita Gyana Yajna, and he stayed in another man's house. And he asked whether about his judge. He stayed, he was hosted. No, he is no more, he is expired. Is it? Then what about his son? No, his son has become a judge. So Swamiji told that you just tell that his, the son that I have come, but don't invite him. Just tell him that I have come and I am staying so in place. The moment the son listened, heard this, he rushed to Swamiji and prostrated and told Swamiji, you have changed in me. Who changed? Swamiji didn't change, his thought changed. Swamiji was only helped in changing his thinking process, guided his thinking. So he has become a transferred person, he became a judge, better person. Now, a person was walking in the night and suddenly he felt he is putting his leg on a snake. So he jumped back and had a fracture. And later on, when the torch was brought and found that it was not a snake, it was a rope only. So he fell and he had this mishap. Do you think that the snake is responsible, is the cause of his mishap? No, it is a thought. He had a misimpression about the rope as a snake. He suffered. And now see about Ramayana also. Even Sitaji's mother Sita, when he desired, a simple thought of having a golden deer brought so much agony and suffering for her later on. See in Mahabharata, Vishwa's father, had he not thought of marrying again, the Mahabharata war would not have been there. This devastating war and all that happenings would not have taken place. A single desire of his father to marry causes all these things. So the reason in all these things is the thought. So thought is a constituent of the mind. It is said that mind is the best friend if it is controlled and the worst enemy if it is depending on its how you manage the mind, how you control the mind, how you discipline the mind. Swami Chinmaya defined mind is a flow of thoughts, a continuous flow of thoughts. You cannot be free from thoughts. If you are totally free from thought, then you are a Mahatma. But that's why the quality of thoughts, the quantity of thoughts, and the direction of thoughts determine the mind. In Mahabharata, in Bhagavad Gita, it is prescribed that the quality of thoughts is changed by following the path of devotion, that is Bhakti Yoga, and quantity of thoughts is controlled by pursuance of path of dedicated action, that is Karma Yoga, and direction of thoughts is changed by pursuit of knowledge, Jnana Yoga. They are to be practiced in synthesis. As a matter of fact, whole Gita is telling how to convert, transformation of the mind. Suppression of the thoughts is not desirable. Thoughts should be supplemented or substituted. How? It can be by good company of good people. That is known in normally satsang, and listening to religious discourses or reading good books, entertaining good thoughts. So thoughts can be replaced or substituted. Now we'll discuss. Before I discuss, I will talk about an organization which was dealing about the mind to refine and clean the mind. That is known as, I don't know how many of you know about Landmark Organization of USA. It conducts 3 sessions of course, primary, advanced and leadership. Primary advanced course is 3 days from morning till midnight, 9 o'clock, and there's no lunch break even. So what they do, they brush your mind and vacate your mind completely, clean your mind, whatever you have in your mind, and your mind is cleaned, and then new thoughts are coming. So the whole course, 3 courses, those days I paid about 25,000 rupees. Now it may be about 1 lakh or so. But this course which the landmark is doing, even you and I can, we can conduct and do it. But unfortunately, nobody will come, even if you give it free, because that is known as landmark of USA. Anything you spend money, it is considered valuable. If it is any given free, it is not considered valuable. So anyway, that I will discuss later. What landmark was doing, but landmark is doing a good job, though it is expensive. Now let us analyze what are the simple methods to regulate and refine the mind and articulate the mind in proper thinking, right thinking. Number one is think positive with right attitude. Dr. Radhakrishnan, when he landed on the White House lawn from the helicopter, it was a drizzling rain, and President Kennedy rushed with an umbrella, telling President, "I am sorry, the weather is not good." To which Dr. Radhakrishnan immediately replied, "Our attitudes toward weather cannot change the weather, but certainly we can change our attitudes toward the weather." Mark the words. Our attitudes toward the weather cannot change the weather, but certainly we can change the attitudes toward the weather. Similarly, another example I am giving, that 3 surgeons were operating a heart patient, and one of the surgeons was asked, "What are you doing?" He said, "I am just earning my livelihood." The second surgeon told, "I am replacing a valve in the heart." And the third surgeon, when he was asked what he was doing, he replied that, "I am trying to save a precious life so that he is useful to his family and society." 3 persons working under the same environment, getting same salary on the same assignment, attitudes are different. So the person who is telling that I am trying to save a patient, certainly his performance will be best, his attitude. For another person, a young man was there, and there was a running race was going on, and asked, "Why don't you join the race?" "No, no, I can't." "Why you can't?" "No, no, I can't." "Oh, but you are energetic, you are young, you are enthusiastic. I mean, healthy wise, very good. Why don't you join?" We set a dog after him. He rushes and wins the race. Where from this potentiality came? It was his attitude which was undermining him and not able to do what he wanted to do. So the right attitude and think positive. I have in my office a poster kept in mind to remind myself that think positive. I will do better than what yesterday. I will try to help somebody. I will make somebody happy. You know, these positive thinkings generate your positive thoughts and inspire you to do what you want to do. Now, every person needs to set a goal or fix a purpose in his life, without which life is useless. Supposing you drive a car without knowing where you are going, you will be driving whole day, but there is no destination. So one needs to have a goal, or set a goal or a purpose for which he should endeavor. Now the other thing is that sharing and discussing. Sharing is very important when you are worried, when there is a lot of thoughts are accumulating and you feeling upset. Better to share with your friend or relations, or if necessary, even if you don't have anybody, go to a temple or a mosque or a church. Express yourself, what your feelings, what are bothering you or worrying you, and you will definitely, as it is said, that sorrows when shared is reduced, and joys when shared it is enhanced. So it is said once one fellow was running after another man. I asked, "Why are you running after?" "No, no, he told all his stories, I listened. When I am telling, wanted to share, he is running away. I want to tell myself." This is one thing. So sharing is important sincerely with your sincere friend, so that your worry is reduced. You feel relaxed. Another thing is discussing. Discussing with your friends or relatives, whatever. There is a difference between discussion and argument. In discussion, we try to find out what is wrong. But in argument, try to find out who is wrong. Let us avoid argument always. In discussion is a positive activity, so that you bring out what is the solution and reconcile to the situation and you bring a category. But if in argument it is a disharmony and with a peace, so always avoid arguments. Now, people suddenly jump into conclusions in given circumstances without understanding the factors. In a landmark, we had an agreement where the participants were to give, and first time they were testing the mind that they are very mentally strong. We thought when they will vacate, when they will be asking the naked their thoughts, they may break down also. So the another agreement they were taking is that we don't disclose what you are listening from the participants. So one of the cases that one wife, a young wife, was telling he was about to divorce her husband. Reason? The wife used to tell the husband that don't put the towel in the bed, put it outside for drying before going. But every day he was taking bath and putting the towel on the bed and rushing to the office, putting his dress and all that. Every day it was happening, and every day that lady was telling. So they said, what is the matter? Every day I am telling and she is not listening. He doesn't love me. He doesn't ignores my advice and the instruction. So she started thinking, what is the reason? Then she found out that she is a nice private secretary, a lady. So she felt probably she has some affair with that lady, and that's why he is behaving like this. So he thought so much that he was about to, and he behaved also indifferently. And this was a concern for the relatives and the family members because he was thinking about to divorce. So one day the husband asked, what is the matter? Why you are behaving so indifferently? He told that because I don't love. How do you know that I don't love? Because every day I'm telling you to keep the towel outside and you're saying, oh, he laughed at her. This is such a small thing. You could have so told me openly. And anyway, that misunderstanding removed and the divorce was averted and they lived happily. We have facts, I tell you. These are not stories. These happened. Another instance was that one daughter, about 21 years or 22 years, she was complaining that she was a participant. She told that her father doesn't love her. How do you know that? No, because other fathers take the children to picnic and have fun, go to movies, go to restaurants and all that. My father doesn't. But my father has presented me a car on my birthday. So, in spite of presenting a car, you feel that your father doesn't love because but why he is not able to give you time? No, he is busy with he's an industrialist and morning 9 o'clock he goes and late night he comes and he doesn't have time to spend. But why he is doing this all these things? Is he not earning for your comforts? Is he not doing this to give you luxurious life? Do the other parents give a car on the birthday to the children? Yes. So all that what he is doing and laboring so much and spending time is a sacrifice. And he is doing all this for your benefit, to give you comfort, for your future life. He realized. So in that landmark where they used to give a task. So they told the girl, today night when you go home, tell your father what you felt. But at midnight the class ends. When they went there, father had her and told that what is this, you are not responsible, you are coming so late and all that. So he got annoyed, slammed the door and slept. In the morning when she was coming, my father was asleep. So he just touched the feet and came. So coach asked, did you talk to your father? No. Why this is the thing? Because he was not there and all that. He told. Then you call your father and tell, speak to him. So he called his father at 11:30. Daddy, I love you. And daddy was in a business conference and he was surprised. He told, it is such a elderly girl and she's asking at 11:30 in the day, suddenly I love you. What is the matter? Where are you? No, I'm in the Kailash. So I'm rushing. So father came and he told me coming. The coach told me wait for father and then come. She waited outside. The father came and she expressed what he had felt and the misunderstanding was removed. They hugged each other. Tears came to their eyes and they met. The point is that without understanding all the factors, jumping to conclusion is dangerous. So there are many such instances, but I don't want to go into detail. But these are facts. What I say now, there is a desires are insatiable. Number of desires come, but we have to choose what desires we should. There is a legitimate desire, illegitimate desire. The illegitimate desires we should nip in the bud and we should not nourish and entertain them. Reject them immediately, instantly. For example, you are enjoying a TV of 32 inches. Suddenly, your neighbor bought a TV of 120 inches. So, your need for 120 inches TV came. Desire came that why not we have a TV like that. Similarly, you are having a scooter, but your friends got a car. So, after some time, you got a car. Then, after some time, I found that another friend he has become a big industrialist and he has bought a Mercedes car. And your wife told that why not have a car like him? So this desire was so predominant. She wanted to have a car by hook or crook, by even dubious methods, even committing heinous crimes. Supposing he obtains a car, what happens after that? Either the CBI catches him, or for the crime he committed, he is in the jail, and the other miseries follow. Who is responsible? Why do entertain such a, for example, somebody sees his friend's wife is beautiful and he entertains a desire to enjoy her or whatever, which is very nasty. But it should not it should not be entertained. It should be limited. It is called an illegitimate desire. Those desires should not be entertained at all. So legitimate desire and you should discriminate, and which are not legitimate should not be given scope to nourish. Now, whenever you got a job, if you want to be successful, you should love your job or assignment. You know, supposing somebody doesn't like teaching and because he did not get any job, finally accepted the teaching post, teacher's post. Do you think he will serve better? Out of disgust, he has got the job. Salary is not the criteria. The criteria is that he doesn't like it, he doesn't love it. So if you want to take an assignment and do it, either you love it or don't accept it. And if you have accepted it, do it with love. See the case of mother. With all the difficulties and the burden of work and the household affairs, she does it with love. She doesn't grumble that he is overloaded. He never asks for leave because there is a love. Whatever she is doing with love. So whatever job you are doing, for example, defense forces, they were working in the fighting at the border. They don't think about their family or everything. They love their assignment. They love the country. Swami Chinmaya was being invited to the border to go and explain, inspire the defense forces why they should fight for the country, to generate their love and inspiration for the country. That is why they give their life out. They never consider what salary they get, what will the consequences of the family, this and that. So one is to love your job assignment if you want to give good performance. If you don't, and this I have experienced in my own life when I joined in CCMT Bombay, the workload was too much. Considered to my earlier I was working steel plant and I was in the corporate also. But those considered to those, this workload was much more because it was more administrative and from all aspects it was overloaded. But I never felt fatigue. I enjoyed it. And that's why there was, by God's grace, it was success. I don't want to go into detail, but it was success. I felt I had a satisfaction. Now, always the mind is to be kept in equilibrium under all circumstances. Whatever the circumstances, the mind should be equilibrium and cool. I will give a small example. A poor fellow was, due to his heart problem, was admitted in the hospital under treatment. But before being admitted in the hospital, he has he had purchased a lottery ticket, And fortunately, that lot result was announced, and he got the first prize of 10 crores. Now his relatives were worried how to pass on this message to him because they were afraid he's a heart patient. If he listens, he may be shocked and he may die. The physician told, never mind, I will manage to share the information with him. So the doctor went there to the patient and told, listen, you had purchased a TNT loyalty ticket? He told, yes, I had purchased. So supposing you get the first prize of 10 crores, what you will do? I'm so unfortunate and I don't have such good luck to get so much money. No, suppose you get the ticket. No, no, I will never get it. Why are you telling all this? These are all imaginary. So the doctor insisted, no, supposing you get it, what you will do? When he insisted, he told, if I get really the prize, I will give half of it to you. The doctor collapsed. He get 5 crores, the doctor collapsed. So this is what happened. This is, if there is no equilibrium, you are excited with a negative condition or a positive condition. One should maintain equilibrium of the mind, which is also advocated and prescribed in Gita. Now, the another important thing for success is commitment. One should be committed what he is supposed to do or he should do. I will give another example of landmark. I was a participant. I completed the 2 courses. The third course was more difficult. It was a leadership program, which was once a week in YMCA in Kolaba. In Wednesday, 7 to 8, 9 p.m. is the class. And I was working, my office was in Powai, which is about 30-40 kilometers away. So I have to travel by auto rickshaw up to Andheri station, auto or taxi. Then from Andheri local train, you go to Churchgate. From Churchgate, you take a taxi to Eagle Cinema. From Eagle Cinema, you walk for 5 minutes to reach the YMCA hall where the program was being held. Anyway, I was managing, but one day it so happened there was an important consignment of books to go to Hong Kong, but the courier did not follow. Courier did not turn up, so I could not send. I was worried and telephoning for alternative resources to how to send it because we are very particular to see that the books reach in the right time for certain programs. So I could not go, and I decided that this is the primary duty. So I cannot, I have to do my primary duty and I give up this landmark program. And suddenly the coach telephones after 5 minutes, 7:05, that why you would not come? I told those I have not come and I cannot come because my commitment is for primary is here. And also we have a world conference nearby at that time. I am in the apex body and I cannot afford to give time for that. So probably I will not be attending. And for your information, the landmark rules were very rigid. If you go by 5 minutes, the door is closed, you cannot not allowed. If you fail 2 consecutive programs, you lose the forfeit the money and you lose the also rest of the program. So I decided, let me give it up. So anyway, the coach told we will talk it later. The next day, the assistant coach telephoned me, tried to persuade me, why don't you join the program and why did you fail? Then I told my circumstances. No, 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 it is very good, it is useful. And all he started to benefit. I told I know all these benefits. But because my responsibility is something else, I cannot and I will not. Then he could not pursue me. Then in the afternoon, again, the deputy chief also telephoned me, coach. Again, they repeated the same thing. And I feel fed up. I told, no, you see, I have my responsibility here. So I cannot afford to go to your program. Next day, what's what I'm telling, how he is approaching. Next day morning at 10 o'clock, the main coach telephoned me and asked, Mr. Patnaik, can I talk to him? I told, no, I'm in the office, I'm busy, I cannot talk to now. He told that when I will talk. I told after in the evening, after dinner at 9 o'clock. I telephoned exactly at 9 o'clock. and started talking me what I'm doing, what is my background, and what is my present responsibility, and the national, the world conference that was going. I was busy with the effect, all that. After listening all that, he told, "You are the right person for joining this program because this program will enhance your efficiency and useful to you. And you are the right person who can join this program." I told, "It's true, but because of this," no, 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 you can join it. And after telling them, I told, "Okay, I will try to join." "No, no, no, you say you will join. Mark your words." He told, "I will try my best to join." He told, "No, no, you say that you will join." I told, "I will sincerely try to join." "No, no, no, you say you will join. Join the program and come to the next class." I told, "I try my best to join." After went going on telling like this for half an hour, finally I told, "Okay, I will join. I will come. Now that you have told you have come, I am sure you will come. You have committed." And it so happened, next class when I went there, I entered the hall, there was a big ovation, all got up, all, most of them are executives and senior members of the corporate bodies and all senior people. They got up and clapped hands and all that. And I was a bit embarrassed. And the coach asked me, "Come to the dais," and he invited to dais and put me the same questions: what I am doing, how I am doing, what is my responsibility. After listening, I thought, here is a person. You see, with all his responsibilities and the commitments, he could manage to come here because he has committed. He could do it. And this landmark program, as I told you, there is a condition that if you fail, you cannot continue the program. So he told he has successfully come. And then I asked him, "Why are you keeping the program on Wednesday? You could have made it on Sunday because most of the people are working people. And also you could have put the program in somewhere in the middle of the city, maybe Sandhari or Dadar. Why you are putting in a corner of the city?" The coach told, "We have deliberately put this program in such a way that you have face inconvenience. We could have made it on Sunday, we deliberately put it on a working day, and we have deliberately put it in a corner so that in spite of hurdles, in spite of difficulties, in spite of disadvantages, you can manage to come." That is known as commitment, and that is known as responsibility, and that is necessary for leadership. This is one experience. The other experience, my personal experience, I am telling you, for the centenary year of Swami Chinmayananda, we had brought out a series of books, and the first book was to release, is known as He Did It. Very popular book. You should see it, very interesting. It narrates the whole story of Swamiji, how he started from zero level with four people attending his program and becoming such a large organization at international level, having 350 centers and more all over the world. So we had to dispatch 25,000 copies of the books to different centers to be released on a particular day, that is 3rd August. So if you get 25,000 copies books, there is no place to store. And also it is not possible to dispatch in one day. And it has to go different places. Some will go by air courier, some will go by local carrier, some will go by transport. So I called the staff and told, "Look, these books are to reach on 3rd August and to be before 3rd August to be released on the same day, and they are to go in different places throughout the world." And we did the logistics. And I told, "Please commit whether you can do it or not. Because if it does not reach before 3rd August, the purpose is lost. All our efforts is wasteful. Either you do it to see that it reaches on 3rd August, before 3rd August, otherwise there is no point." But our staff are different. They work with dedication. They staff committed, "Sir, we will do it." And we did the logistic, how to send it to different places and different timings and all that, different manners of dispatch. And you will be surprised to know it happened. Could do it. It could happen. So these things, when I realize, particularly the landmark, how I manage, even I don't believe, how could I manage to reach the place for the next 2 months on the exact date? This is because your commitment. You see, when you go and invite somebody and he says that I will try to come, or I will say I like to come, Take it for granted it's 50-50. It's a political answer. He is keeping the door open to take excuse not to come or not to do the thing. So I will try to come and I will come. There is a big difference. I will try to do and I will do. There is a big difference. One should realize that's significant of this difference in the communication. So when you say I will do it, you commit it. You close all the doors of not doing it or taking an excuse not doing it. Doors are closed. The only option is do it, come what may. So commitment is very, very important for somebody to do the job properly and successfully. And the most other important thing is very important is introspection. I don't know how many people know about introspection. I hope most of you might be knowing in different ways. Introspection is a method by call back the whole day's activities as a witness to see how you acted in a particular given situation, uh, your decision, your speech, your action, whatever. And when you call back, when you are honestly seeing yourself, you will be honest. Because if I'm depending, telling to other body, normally I will plead I am right. But when I'm seeing myself, I will know myself where I was wrong. I should not have spoken like this. I should not have done like this. I should not have acted like this. So I will realize where I went wrong. Once I feel that I went wrong, I will decide, no repentance. He said, don't repent, but take a bold decision that I will not commit the same mistake again. That maybe second time you may commit, maybe third time also you may commit, and every time you say, I will not do it again, I will not do it again. So maybe 2-3 times you may commit the same mistake, but later on, you will not commit it. The same mistake disappears. The pattern of thinking disappears. The activity disappears. Your decision making disappears. Your thought pattern disappears. Everything is changing. But don't try to assess how much you improve. If you see it is improved, then the ego is rising, which is not desirable. If you feel that there is no improvement, there will frustration, depression. So both are undesirable. Leave it and sincerely introspect every day before going to bed, calmly and honestly and sincerely. Then a transformation takes place in the course of time. And in due course, whether you notice or not, everybody will notice that you have changed person. There is a big transformation in your character, in your behavior, in your execution, in your transaction. Everything is changed. And who changes? You yourself changes. This is how one can. These are some of the basic methods of nourishing the mind and transforming the thoughts and qualifying the types in a qualitative manner. These are not exhaustive. It can be, you can discover much more in course of your experience in your day-to-day life by introspection, by analysis. And I have tried to summarize, I mean, precise as far as possible, but these are practical and these are helpful. Before I reached Bombay, I had a feeling that people are unhappy because of poverty. But this proved wrong when after I lived in Bombay and found people with affluent life and luxurious life, a lot of wealth, still they are unhappy. Many of them used to come to our ashram for spending 3-4 days, particularly during their birthdays or marriage anniversaries or some such functions. And because they feel more peaceful. And even the people who come on official visit, they are booked in 5-star hotels. They will get in there, but they will come and stay in our ashram because they feel the serenity and peaceful atmosphere. It's thoughtful, the thinking process is different, the environment is different. So it is not the poverty alone is responsible for unhappiness, and wealth is not responsible for giving you happiness. That is why Dr. Radhakrishnan has told, it is simple to be happy but difficult to be simple. What the word? It is simple to be happy but difficult to be simple. That is the problem. We become complicated our life. We go to a psychiatrist to treat our mind. Mind is ours, but somebody else will teach. Sometimes they come to our office, and in course of discussion, I share these thoughts, and these thoughts are practical. They realize, they appreciate, they like it. In spite of that, for their satisfaction, they go to the psychiatrist, spend at least minimum 1,000 rupees for each sitting, and they feel, because anything given free is not appreciated. If you pay money, you like it. There is just like landmark. Landmark, what they are doing is minting money, and people are rushing. There are crowd participating. The same program, you hold it free, which our books are there. Swami Chinmanda, our missions books are there, which teach how to develop your mind, how to get out of worry, how to nourish your mind, and how to have a happy life, how to parenting, and even the youngsters, the students also, to inspire how to be moral and strong leadership, confidence building. All these things are there, even for children also there, and even for adults, how to live gracefully in old age. So there are, for every kind of persons, every kind of mind, there is a way of doing and way of thinking, and it is guaranteed that you will. But you know, in Odia it is said, Ganjo Singani Naki. So it is because it is told, if Stephen Covey is told, or some other foreign author is told, people respect it. But it is when it is said that our scriptures have told, or our ancient rishis have told, or our shastras have told, they feel little, they have reservations to accept it. But the fact remains, these are proven facts, and they work well. It is for us to be happy or unhappy. The choice is ours. As Swami Chinmanda used to say, your happiness is your birthright. So to be happy, so seeing a half glass of milk, you feel that I am unhappy, I cannot get a full glass of milk. But if you enjoy the half glass of milk, you are happy. If you feel sorry that the half glass is empty, you are unhappy. The choice is either yours, whether you like to be happy or unhappy. Himanda used to say that don't keep the key of happiness in other man's pocket, which all normally we do. The God has given you discrimination and enjoy life. You see the intellectual faculty that He has given to know which is right and which is wrong. So enjoy the life with the faculty it is given to us, and be happy with it. I always I enjoy sharing these thoughts in the education institutions and in management institutions and other social organizations like Rotary Club, etc. And these are discussed in various aspects of how to overcome worry, how to build confidence, how to have relationship, how to maintain harmony in life. These are the various factors which can be discussed at length exhaustively in different manners. But anyway, I will not like to take more time, and I just wanted to share briefly, as precise as possible, what are the basic facts or factors which can nourish your mind properly to have a happy life and to succeed. There is art of communication. Very nicely. These are the things which are very practical. You need not go to a psychiatrist, or you need not go to any other some miracles to happen. You can create your own miracle by transforming yourself to a better man. So thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to sharing, and thank you for bearing to listen to me. And if anybody has any questions to clarify what I have explained, if I am not very clear, I will be happy to clarify it further, what I have talked on the points that I have spoken. And I once again thank you, Dr. Das and philosophy Emily, for giving me this opportunity, and look forward for such association in future also. Now that I am free and I am at Rourkela, I had a busy time at Bombay. Now I am totally free. I am available for such discussions. Thank you and all the best. Wish you all the best.
Thanks so much, sir. for your motivational and reflective thought on the art of correct thinking. So really, your speech has motivated and inspired us, and you have given your valuable time with us. And after taking different administrative services in different corporate bodies, you have beautifully managed all kinds of activities in your life, and you have very wonderfully um, uh, taken the decision because of the art of project thinking, and you have exhibited the responsibility, and you have shown your commitment to for bringing success in any segment of life. Sir, you have given emphasis on how thoughts shape and determine the life, and how it guides the every step of her activities. You have taken the examples of Ramayana, Mahabharata, Gita, and I have said how mind has to keep in equilibrium position in relation with Gita, and you said how mind is a flow of thought, and you have given a different simple methods to regulate our thought and mind. That is, think positive with the right attitude, think with a purpose, sharing and discussion, commitment and introspection. Everything that you have given in your short speech, but you have today you have nourished our mind. Today you have given your clarity in thinking, how clarity in thinking, and how the correct thinking can make our life successful, can make our life harmonious. You have put the quotation of Radhakrishnan that it's simple to be happy, but it is very difficult to be simple. Very interesting quotation that you have given us. That your entire speech has really motivated us and inspired this evening with all of us. Thanks so much, sir. Now, I would like to request Dr. K. Omanan Rao to carry on the interactive session with Patnaik, sir. Over to Dr. Rao.
Namaskar, everybody. Really, it was a very interesting lecture. Patnaik sir tried to see the practical side of life, not going to any theory, because theories and practices, there lies a lot of gap. So we have learned about a lot of theories, but how to be more of a practical sort in dealing life issues. Patnaik sir has tried to show the way to all of us, and these examples really say built a sort of art in all of us. I think would definitely help us in mastering the very art of right thinking. Well, if somebody wants to raise any question, if anybody has a query, or if somebody wants to say something, if somebody has any suggestion to make or any observation to make, they are welcome. Because I don't see any question in the chat box. Well, I see compliments from V. Balaji Rao, Chitranjan Satpati sir, and Shravani Mr. Madam, Sasi Bhushan Rath sir, Manohar Yelisetti, and others, but I don't see any specific question regarding the talk of Patnaik sir. If anybody is interested in making some remarks or any suggestions or any sort of questions, they are welcome. They can unmute and they can put forth the suggestions, comments, or questions. Welcome.
Sir, namaskar. Balaji Rao here.
Sir, welcome, sir. Welcome, sir.
Welcome, sir. You had very rightly said, and fortunately, when I have started interacting with myself, then the things that you had said, that you take interest in whatever work you are doing, automatically results will follow. You have commitment, and then result will positively come. This is what I have been teaching to my fellow bankers, those who are working with me. right from 1984 when I joined Central Bank of India and then retired as DGM from Central Bank in December 20. Till that time, every office I said, work for the cause of working. Enjoy the work, you will get the results. You have said that people are rushing to psychiatrists for their own mind. Why should you pay 500, 1,500 rupees? But sir, what I feel and what I have observed, and I have advised also few people that one particular fit to all. So one person, if it is required, must take the help of a psychiatrist. So I feel there is nothing wrong by going to a psychiatrist. Your view, sir.
No, I don't say it is wrong. What I mean to say, with simple things which can be corrected, because there are certain extent you have to go where when it goes totally out of control. But basic things, it is that it is simple to be happy, difficult to be simple. If you know the cause why you are unhappy, the problem is solved. And what the psychiatrists do mostly, because I have experience when they come from the psychiatrist, they explain what was the interaction, and I laugh at it. They put the same questions and they extract the same answers. Same thing Landmark is doing. Landmark was doing only they extract entirely and find out where you are wrong, and again set them right by cleaning the mind, by removing the wrong thinking and putting the right thinking. That's all. So I do not discourage going to the psychiatrist, but many things can be solved even without going to a psychiatrist. That is what I meant to say.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Well, Manohar sir wants to say something. Welcome, sir.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Good evening to my friend Dr. Patnaik and the distinguished organizers. Patnaik sir, namaskar.
Namaskar, Hari Om.
It has been a wonderful, interaction on the very important topic which you have chosen, as you always do. My hearty congratulations and compliments too. Presiding officer of the meeting, I will only like to add one or two examples of this art of right thinking. We are all lucky who are witnessing this talk. In spite of the 3 years of Corona, we are still, alive. And that, if you reflect upon, as Dr. Patnaik has mentioned, maybe each one of us has got little amount of that positive attitude and positive thinking and positive perspective of life. Reflect upon that. One. The second example is, all of us are aware of the Chile mine accident. In the country, Chile mine accident, about 60 miners were trapped about 1 kilometer under the ground level. And the entire world came to their rescue. All types of equipment, L&T, this, you name it, and they were all present. Now, luckily, most of the people were, they were recovered, and finally one boy was there. Then the question, this journalist, they all had, a press meeting. Then they said, how is it that you survived? He said, I was all the time positively thinking, as soon as I come out of the mine, what should I do? I should go to my parents and hug them. So this kind of positive thinking has saved the life for 69 days, you see, without any proper food or anything. So that is the power of positive thinking, which you have communicated, and let's, in our own lives, adopt it and preach it to the young ones. Because when we practice, we get entitlement to preach to the young ones. Thank you very much for this opportunity. It has been a wonderful thing. Rourkela is close to my heart. I started my career there way back in 1972 as management training. And then Chinmay Mission is my next love because in 1986, when I was at Vizag, I joined and started one Chinmay Mission Center in the steel plant township. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Patnaik sir, would you like to say something?
No, I know Dr. Manohar. He was director of steel plant at Vizag. And I feel inspired because he encouraged me. I had the first talk to the executives at Vizag steel plant about achieving success and better results in the performance. So that's all. And as he has just supplemented my thinking, and this is what I have been trying to say in all my talks wherever I go. And this can be discussed in other areas also, like harmony of life, relationship, success in your endeavors, and love and affection, even family life, parenting. So many things are there. So this can be discussed in different times, in different levels.
Thank you, Patnaik sir. Well, I also thank V. Balaji Rao and Manohar sir for their views, for their comments, for their observations. Well, Ashok Panda sir wants to say something.
Right.
Yes.
Absolutely. Well, Mr. K.C. Patnaik is a very close friend of mine. Quite often we interact off and on, in different forums. We both were also in Rotary, and also we are very close friends. Well, I have a little suggestion from his side, because I heard his talk and I really enjoyed it. And I'm very optimistic, when he speaks, because he talks sense, he talks purposeful, and he talks worthwhile things. A little question to you, Mr. Patnaik. Quite often you must have seen whether saints, whether even very senior people, they preach that we need to be selfish. We need to be selfish. Everybody preaches that we should not be selfish, but we must be selfless. Yeah, right. And you will definitely agree with me that we should be not selfish and we should be selfless. But one little point what I have noticed, with people is, some people who are selfless, what they do, they only think of others, and they only see the prosperity of others. They think good of others, as a reason of which they neglect themselves. As a reason of which, ultimately they suffer. What is your take on this? Because, I'm a selfish guy. I only think about the welfare of others, and even I neglect myself in the interest of others. And as a reason of which, I suffer also. So how do you create an equilibrium between selflessness and selfishness? How do you create an equilibrium between the two?
Anybody else want to comment about that before I comment? Dr. Manohar, do you like to say anything?
Yes, welcome, sir. Manohar, sir. Sir, yes, unmute, sir. Unmute. Manohar, sir, unmute. Manohar, sir, unmute. Please unmute.
I just went to attend nature's call, so I missed it, what he said. Panda Sahab, my friend. So excuse me.
Yeah, right. No problem. Actually, what I'm trying to tell is, quite often, we preach that we have to be selfless, not selfish. Now, what happens, when we are talking of be selfless and not selfish, what we do, we forget about our own self, and we think of others, their welfare, their prosperity, as a reason of which, we neglect ourselves. And later on, we suffer a lot because of that, because we think of only others, we don't think of ourselves. So what I'm trying to tell, don't you think there should be a state of equilibrium between selflessness and selfishness?
Absolutely.
A state of equilibrium I'm talking of. What is your take on that?
No, absolutely it should be there. Even our Gita or Ityasas also, Puranas also say, first, you be healthy and positive minded.
Absolutely.
Then you can think of making other positive minded. There is a very interesting thing, which is often quoted in Chinmaya, this thing. One patient was suffering from diabetes. So he goes to a Swamiji. Then Swamiji sees him and said, you come after 1 week. Then again he comes. Then Swamiji says, again 1 week. Like that 3 or 4 times he, refuses to see him. Then finally 4th or 5th time when he comes, he says, you stop taking sugar. Then this gentleman asked, you could have told me in the beginning itself. Then he said, no, I have practiced it in the 4 or 5 days. Then only I practiced, then I am getting the, what Sir has mentioned, commitment, confidence, etc. I can tell you. So that is the kind of thing. So as I said, that balancing is absolutely needed.
Yeah. Because, unless we experience ourselves, it becomes easier for others to share it with them also.
Absolutely.
So it is very important that we share ourselves, experience ourselves, so that we can share the happiness with others. Thank you very much.
Very nice.
So thank you, sir, Manohar sir, Panda sir. Well, one thing I would like to say is, in the process, the very process of liberating others, in doing good to others, don't forget to do good to your own self.
Absolutely.
Because if you neglect yourself, if you ignore yourself, and if you are at a risk, who is there to take care of others then?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Because if you are neglecting, you have a goal of bringing goodness to others, and
Right.
in the process you ignore yourself. So the very purpose is lost because
Yeah, right.
you are ignoring and you are at a risk and you are no more to
Yeah.
spread goodness.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that's
yeah.
why
Yeah.
in liberating others, the self-liberation is also essential. So there is
Yeah, yeah.
it should be a parity.
Yeah, yeah.
See, when I think of others, I should try to find myself also in others,
Yeah,
and
right.
also others in myself. So
Right.
that should be the attitude. That should be the balance.
That empathy must be created.
That
Right.
should be the balance.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
In the Chinmay mission pledge, the last part it said, "O Lord, give us the courage and ability to fulfill, to serve the people and serve the country." That is what our Chinmay mission pledge says. So that we must be also capable of helping others. Otherwise, if we become weak and we are useless, how can we help others?
Absolutely.
So the prayer is that to give us the ability and courage to fulfill and serve the country, because that is our duty.
Absolutely.
So nobody
Yes.
says that you.
Plus,
Okay.
cases up, Lord Krishna says, Uddhared Atma. No,
Yeah.
first you first evolve yourself, and before telling
Yes.
anything, and you are primarily responsible. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Most welcome. Most welcome.
Mr. Kale wanted to say something, for quite some time. We must allow him. Yeah.
There is Kali.
Yeah, there. I think Snehal Kale. Yeah.
Is
Let him
anybody?
speak.
I don't
Where
see
is he?
anybody unmuting. Well, if somebody wants to
Where-
say something, welcome, sir. Welcome. But I don't see anybody unmuting. Anyway, well, we have a very good question by Shravani Mishra. She says, in difficult situations, we come across difficult situations, and the situations do fail us. And in such situations, we fail to have a right sort of thinking. And what would be the technique, as you say, the art of right thinking? How to master that art? Actually, as you say, it's an art, and mastering that art is not everybody's cup of tea. So, how to master that art so that you can have a right thinking? What you say, the positive attitude, even at the toughest of times, like the way Manohar sir was trying to point out about the miners who were trapped, and the positive attitude did save them. So, in the toughest of situations, what should be the parameters for having a right sort of thinking to even in the difficult sort of situations? How to manage life in those situations?
No, in the given situation, first of all, we have to analyze what are the possibilities, what are the ways out. Because worry is not the solution. Solution is what to think, what best can be done in a given situation. Some people feel satisfied if they are worried. As Swami Chinmay used to say that if somebody is worried, give a room and tell him that get worried whole day. Worry doesn't help. So you have to find out the ways and means. For that, you need a strong mind and a mind of coolness and equilibrium, so that you can take a proper decision for meeting the situation. That is what happened Arjuna in the Mahabharata war. He was shattered, he was upset, seeing the situation that all his relatives and teachers and everybody is against him. He is such a great warrior and he was shattered. He was nervous. He was thinking what to do and he was about to run away for the sannyas. That is why the Lord Krishna had to tell him to revive his mind and strengthen his mind, to bring confidence in his mind, what to do in the given situation. So always situations will come. As Swamiji says, situations are challenging and it will be coming and coming and coming. The whole life is full of situations and problems and challenges. So one has to decide how to face it instead of worrying and worrying and worrying. Worrying is not a solution.
Yes,
Solution
sir.
is
Thank you, sir. Very beautiful example that you have selected, and the right one too. So, Gita. Actually, this message from the Gita is really an answer to the question raised by Shravani Mishra. Well, some question by Kale sir. Well, sir, welcome, sir. Please unmute, sir. Kale sir, please unmute. Welcome, sir. Please unmute your microphone, sir. Well, sir is not able to unmute. In the meantime, let us take one more question from Srabani Mishra. She says one more question and one. She says Bhima Bhai. She says taking the instance from Bhima Bhai. She says let my life go to hell. Let my life go to hell, and the world be saved from all evils. So whether that is a selfless attitude or a selfish attitude. How do you see this?
No, it is not a selfless and selfish. The question is that, when you are dedicated to a purpose, whether you want to go to hell or not is not important. But when you are dedicated to a group purpose, you see the defense people, they die, but they don't voluntarily. They give up their life for the service of the country, to defend the country. In the process, they die. Whether they don't declare that they want to die, but they die sometimes. But it is not. It is appreciated and it is an honor. So there is nothing wrong in thinking like that. But one should not think negatively.
Okay, thank you. Well, Kailash sir, your last question, sir. We'll go to the second speaker. Snehal, Kailash sir, you want to say something, please, sir? Well, I don't see Kailash sir unmuting. I see Kailash Mahana sir prepared for the next, inviting the next speaker. Welcome, Kailash Mahana sir. Thank you.